Alright, Title 49 CFR Chapter 3, November 7th, November 1st, 2017 edition. Part 365, Rules Governing Applications for Operating Authority. So Part A, How to Apply Operating Authority. 101, Application Governed by these rules. 101T, Application Governed by these rules. 102 to 103 Reserve, 103 Modified Procedures, 104 Reserve, 105 Starting Application for the MCSA 1, 105 Starting Application for the OMOP 1, 106 Reserve, 106T Starting Application Process URS Online, 107 Type of Applications, 108 Reserve, 109 Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, Review of Application, 109T Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Review of Application, 110 need to complete entrance safety assurance program. 111 application rejecting applications. 111T application rejections of the applications. 113 changing request authority for filing supplementary evidence after the application is filed. 115 for after publication Federal Motor Carrier Safety Registration Administration Register. 117 obtaining a copy of the application. 119 opposed application. 119T opposed application. 121 filing a reply statement. 123 applicant withdrawal. Alright, subpart B, how to oppose requests for authority, definitions, time for filing, contents to protest withdrawal. Subpart C, general governing applications, 301 reserve, 301T applicable rules, 303 contacting another party, 305 serving copies of pleading, 307 replies to motion, 309 faxing files. Subpart D, transferring operating rights to under Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 10926, scope of rules, definition, reporting requirement. Subpart D, transferring operating rights under Title 49 10926. Scope, definition, application notice, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration criteria, approval, response, pleading, proceeding, changes the name from business motor carrier, freight forward, property carrier. Alright, subpart E, special rules certain to Mexico domicile carrier, scope application registry, registration free of waiver, certain application, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, action of application, requirements to notify Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, change applicant information, 509T, requirements to notify Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, change application information, 511, and requirements of the commercial vehicle safety assurance. Safety assistance inspection vehicles during first 3 consecutive years permanent authority. Alright, subpart A, how to apply operating authority. 365-101, application governed by these rules. Rules governing the handling of the equipment operating authority of the following type. Application of certificate motor carrier registers to operate a motor carrier property or passenger. Application for the permits of the operators of freight forward. C, reserve. D, application for the license operating broker motor transportation. E, application certification, Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 1392. B3, to operate with motor carrier passenger interstate commerce original routes such as interstate. The transportation is to be provided with a route over the carrier provided with the interstate transportation pass from reserved. Application for the temporary motor carrier authority. Application Mexico domicile property carriers to operate the foreign commercial for hire or private motor carriers of property, including exempt items between Mexico and all points of the United States under NAFTA. Annex 1, IU-20, Mexico domicile motor carrier may not provide and point-to-point transportation services, including express delivery services within the United States for goods other than international cargo. Application for the North American domicile motor carriers to operate with a foreign commerce for hire motor carriers property passengers within the United States. The rules in this part do not apply with the pipeline welding trucks as defined in Title 49 CFR 390-380B. 365-102T applications govern these rules. The rules governing handling of the application of the authority of the following type: the application of the certificates and the permits of the operator of the motor carrier with the contractor or property of the passenger or passengers. Application permits of the operator with the freight forward. C, reserved application license of the operator with the broker motor vehicle transportation. Application certified with the Title 49 13902B3 to operate with the motor carrier passenger with the interstate with the commerce over regular routes such as interstate transportation is to be provided with the route over the carrier provided with the interstate transportation passengers. F is reserved. G, application temporal motor carrier authority. Application with Mexico domicile that operate with the foreign commerce common with the contract or private motor carrier with the property, including exempt items from Mexico. All points the United States own with the NAFTA Annex 1, page 1, EU 20, Mexico domicile report may not provide point-to-point transportation, excluding express service delivers service within the United States for the good other than international cargo. Application for the North American domicile motor carriers to operate with the foreign commercial with for hire motor carrier property passengers within the United States. Rules that do not apply with the pipeline welding trucks as defined in Title 49 CFR 390-38B. 365-102 to 103 reserve. 365-103T modified procedure. Federal motor carrier handling license application proceeding under the modified procedures. If possible, application protestant send statements made under the oath, verified statements to each other into the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. There are no personal appearances of formal hearings. 365-104 reserve. 365-105 starting the application operation process for the form MCSA-1. For each application must apply for the operating authority with electronically filing with the MCSA-1 URS Unified Registering System. Only online application to request the authority of the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 13902, 904, 903 to operate as follows: motor carrier, property, passenger, broker, general commodities, household goods, freight forwarder, general commodities, household goods. Obtain forms for Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Division office of each of the state, one of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration service centers. Address, phone number to division office centers. Error can be found with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.gov mission field offices. Form of information about following procedures can be downloaded at Federal Motor Carrier Administration.gov registration forms. Form of the MCSA-1 is the URS online application is available to include the complete instruction with the FMSA website. 365-105T, starting the application process for the OP1. Each application must file with the appropriate form of the OP1 series with the form. OP1 must be filed with a request of authority to operate with the motor property carrier, with the broker, general freight broker, household good. For the OP1P must be filed with the requesting authority to operate with a motor passenger carrier. For the OP1FF must be filed with requesting the authority of the freight forward. OPM1 must be filed with the Mexico domicile motor property, including household goods carrier. Motor passenger with the carrier requesting authority to operate with the United States with the effective December 16, 2009. The OPA-1 NNA must be filed with the non-North American domicile motor property, including the household goods carrier, motor passenger carrier with the requesting authority to operate with the United States, subject file fee amount set forth in Title 49 CFR 363TF1 as required for each of the type of the authority sought. Obtain the federal forms of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Division office, each of the state at one of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration service office centers. Addressing phone number to division office service centers can be found at Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.gov mission field office. Forms information filing procedures can be found and downloaded at Federal Motor Carrier Safety.gov registration forms. 136-106 reserve. 36-106T starting the application for the Unified Register System application. Notwithstanding with the 36-105T with the new applicants defined with the paragraph B of this section must apply with the U.S. dot number if applicable operating authority by electronically filing the form MCSA-1 with the Unified Registering System. Online application requests authority pursuant to Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 13902, 903, 904 to operate motor carrier property not with the household goods property, household good or passengers, broke general commodities, households goods or freight forward, general commodities or household goods. For the purpose of this section, new applicant is sent either with the U.S. dot number if applicable operating authority who does not have the time application activity of the U.S. dot motor carrier Mexico owned control freight forward number and has never active registration of U.S. dot MX or FF number. The MSA 1 for the URS online application, both the application and instruction found available in Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.gov URS. Alright, 365-107, the type of the application: fitness application, motor property application, certain types of the motor passenger application require finding applicant fit for the while willing and able to perform the following involved the operation to comply with the applicable statutory regulatory provisions. These applications can be opposed only by the grounds application is not filed and is not compliant with the applicable financial responsibility, safety, fitness requirements. These applications are motor carrier and property except for the household goods, broker, general commodity household goods, certain type of the motor carrier passenger application applications as described in Form MCSA 1. Motor carrier passenger public interest application described in the MCSA 1. Interstate motor passenger application Title 49 U.S. Code 13902B3 as described in MCSA 1. Motor carrier household good with the application include the Mexico non-North American Amendment style of the carrier application in addition to the meet with the fitness standard with the under paragraph A of this section. The application seeking authority to operate with the motor carrier household goods must provide evidence of the participation arbitration program, provide with a copy of the notice of arbitration program that is required in Title 49 U.S. Code 14708B2. Identify with the tariff, provide with a copy of the notice of availability with the tariff of the inspection required in the Title 49 U.S. Code 13702. Providence evidence the access to the region for the federal observe applicable federal laws. Relating to consumer protection, estimated with the consumer right with the responsibility, options, limitations, liability of losses, damages, disclaimer the relationship involved with the common stock, common owner, common management, common financial, family, familia relationship between the application and any with the motor carrier with the freight forward and broke household goods within 3 years of the proposed date of the registration. Temporary authority, motor carrier with these application required findings that there soon will be immediate transportation need not to be, cannot be existing carrier service application. Application of the temporary authority will be entertained only with the emergency declaration that has been pursuant to the 390.23 subchapter. Temporary authority must be requested by filing Form MCSA 1. Application with a temporary authority are not subject to protest. Motor carrier granted temporary authority must comply with the financial responsibility requirements under Part 387 of the subchapter. Only the U.S. domiciled motor carriers is eligible to receive temporary authority. Alright, 365, 107, the type of application. Fitness application. Motor property application. A certain type of the motor passenger application required by the finding of the applicant that is willing and able to perform the involved operation to comply with the applicable statutory regulatory provision. The application can be opposed only by the grounds that the applicable is not compliant with the applicable financial responsibility, safety, fitness requirements. These applications are motor common contractor, carrier of property except the household goods, Mexican motor property, carriers perform private carriage transfer, XM items, motor contractor, carriers, passenger transportation, motor carrier brokerage, general combines except household goods, certain type of the motor passenger application described in OP1P, motor passenger public interest application described in OP1P, interstate motors passenger applications under Title 49 13902B3, described in Form OP1 Schedule B, motor carrier common household good applications include Mexican carrier applications. The application required finding that the application fitting and willing or provided with the involved the transportation comply with the application statutory regulatory provisions. Service proposed will serve the useful purpose of public purpose, response to public demand or need. The motor contractor carrier household good property broker freight forward applications. These applications require finding that the application fitting and willing to provide involved transportation comply with the application statutory regulatory provisions, and the transportation is to provide with the consistent with the public interest of the National Transportation Policy, Title 49, U.S. Standard Code 13101. Temporary authority of the motor and water carrier for the application required with the finding that there is soon and immediate transportation need not to carry and cannot be met by existing carrier service. Alright, in the view expedited time frames established in part of the processing request permanent authority application, temporary authority will be entertained. In exempt circumstances, natural disaster, natural emergency, when in evidence immediate service needs to be specifically documented in a narrative supplement appended to the OP1 for the motor property carriers for OPMX for Mexican property carriers, and OP1P for motor passenger carriers. 365, 108, Reserve. 365, 109, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Review Application. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration staff will review the application with the correct completeness, adequacy of the evidence, the prima facie case. Minor errors will be corrected without notification to the application. Material incomplete applications will be rejected. Applications that are substantial compliance with the rules may be accepted. All motor carrier application reviewed consistency with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration operational safety fitness application. For the unsatisfactory safety fitness ratings of the DOT will have the application rejected. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration staff will review the complete application to conform the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration safety fitness policy of the company with evidence adequate financial responsibility. All applications must file with the appropriate evidence financial responsibility pursuant to Title 49 CFR Part 387 within the 90 days of the date of notice application published in Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Form BMC 191X and BMC 83 surety bond bodily injury property damage motor property passenger and freight forward that provide pickup and delivery service directly by using local local delivery service under the control. Form BC 84 surety bond or Form BC 85 trust fund agreement of property brokers of the general commodities household goods. Form BMC 34 and 83 security bonds, cargo liability, household motor carriers, household freight forwards. 6 applicants also must submit the BOC designation agents, motor carrier brokers, and freight forwarders within 90 days from the date of the notice application from the Public Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register. Applications seeking to conduct the operation from the tariff are required and may not commence in such operation until the tariff are in effect. All applications must be completed in English. A summary of the application and be published in Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register. Give the notice to the public in the case that anyone wishes to oppose the application. Alright, 365-109T, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Review Application. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration staff will review the application correctness, completeness, adequacy of the evidence of the prima facie. The minor errors will be corrected without notification. Application material incomplete. Application will be rejected. Application substantial compliance with these rules may be accepted. All motor carrier application review consistency with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration operational safety fitness policy. Application unsatisfactory safety fitness ratings of the dot will have the applications rejected. 4. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration staff will review the commodity application to conform to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration safety policy with the company with the evidence of adequate financial responsibility. Financial responsibility is indicated by filing the 20-day application notice of the published Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register. Form BC 9191X 82 surety bonds, bodily injury, property damage, motor, property, passenger carriers, household, good freight forwards that provide pickup and delivery service directly by using local delivery services under their control. Form BMC 84 surety bond and BMC 85 trust fund agreement, property brokers, general commodities, and household goods. Form BMC 34 and 83 surety bonds, cargo liability, cargo, household goods, motor carrier, household freight forwarders. Applicants also must submit the BOC designation legal process agents within 20 days of the application notice is published. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register application seek for the conduct operation for the tariff required but may not commence with such operation until the tariff is in effect. All applications must be completed in English. A summary of the application published in preliminary grant authority of Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register give the notice public in any case anyone which wishes to oppose the application. 365-110 need to complete the new entrant safety assurance program for motor carriers operating with a commercial motor vehicle that defined in Title 4913. 31132 operating authority with obtained with the procedure for this problem does not become permanent until the application satisfactorily complete the new entry safety assurance program 385 and subchapter. 365-11 1. Appeal for the rejection application. Application for the right to appeal the rejection of application and appeal must be filed with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Office of Registration and Safety Information, 1200 New Jersey Avenue, Southeast Washington, D.C. within 10 days of the day of letter of rejection. If the appeal successfully is found, a proper application should be deemed to have then properly filed without decision date of approval. 365-11-1T. Application rejection application. Application for the right to appeal rejection of the application and appeal must be filed with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration within 10 days of the day of the letter of rejection. If the appeal is successfully filing is found with a proper application should be deemed to have been properly filed with the decision date of the appeal. Alright, 365-11-3. Change the request authority of the filing supplementary evidence after the application is filed. Once the application is filed, the application may supplement evidence only with the approval of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Amendments to the application generally are not permitted, but the appropriate instance may be entertained as a discretion of Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. 365-11-5. After publication in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register, interested person within 10 days of the day of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register publishes on publication to file protest subpart B of this part. If no one opposed to the application, the grant published in Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register becomes effective by issuance of certificate, permit, and license. 365-117. Obtaining a copy of the application. After the publication, an interested person may request a copy of the application by contacting Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration designated agent as identified in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Register. 365-119. Opposed application. If the application is opposed, the opposing parties are required to send a copy of the protest application to Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. All protests may include the statement made under the oath verified statement. There are no personal appearances or formal hearings. 365-119T. Opposed application. If the application is opposed, the opposed parties are required to send a copy of their property to the application. Their protest to the applicant. 365-121, filing per replying statement. Application approved. The applicant may file the replying statement other than due within 20 days of Federal Motor Carrier Safety registration and publication. The reply must statement of the contain new evidence and shall only rebut further explaining matters previously raised. The reply statement need not to be notarized or verified with the applicant under the stand of the oath of the application and apply with all the evidence submitted in this application. Separate legal arguments by counsel need not to be notarized or verified. 365-123, applicant withdrawal. If the applicant wishes to withdraw an applicant, it shall request dismissal in writing. And it's lightning and storming outside, so I'm going to cut the tapes early so we do not spill over.